What's up, everybody? My name's Big Cam and welcome back to another Hot Toys Marvel figure unboxing. And today we have a very special 1/6 scale die-cast figure, MMS 331-D13. I don't know what that means. Comment below. I think this could be maybe a reissue or something of the War Machine, but you can see, oh wow, actually kind of like the reflection on the box, that's kind of how it looks. And then it kind of has this, like, you can see it on camera, it's like this lined version. Very cool. That looks awesome. Got like War Machine's guns up on the top corner, War Machine on the side of the box, legal information around the back, and the die-cast box on the side. I'm not gonna waste any time. Movie masterpiece. Oh boy, let's slide out this bad boy. Ooh, pretty thick box, pretty thick figure. Let's says War Machine on the front here. Let's pop off the top of this foam and see what we got. Ooh, I did order this figure on eBay and he did come, it looks like, brand new. Where the other figure this weekend is a Mark IV Iron Man suit that has the suit up gantry that I got from my local comic book shop, so that's probably going to be more like a used figure, so I'm hoping that's in pretty good condition. But the figure itself comes with some swap out hands. Oh yeah, I haven't opened a die-cast figure in a while. The the Rhodey head sculpt. Very good looking Rhodey head sculpt. Honestly, that Don Cheadle, that looks like fucking Don Cheadle. Holy shit. That is Don Cheadle. That doesn't even look like Don Cheadle. That just fucking is Don Cheadle. Holy shit. There's the magnet right here. Okay, Mr. Rhodey. I see you. I see you. Now, does that mask fit in right there? Yeah, it does. Ooh, boy. I might have to rep this head sculpt. Although the magnet, I guess that's how it's supposed to be. It sits a little too far down like that. But when it's up, it sits okay. But it's not supposed to be way back there, you know what I mean? The magnets. Yeah, doesn't that look like it sits a little too far forward? It should be like that, maybe. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'll try that out more in a second. But just pulling out the actual figure himself, this is the Rhodey War Machine, you know, Mark I, if you would, the 001 from Iron Man 2. And he is a thick boy. Holy crap. I guess his armor is a little bit thicker than Tony's, and he does come with like a big old machine gun, I'm pretty sure, that can slot back here or slot on either side of him. That slides, that's nice. Any flaps back here open up, I'm sure. I should read the instructions. I'm sure those are somewhere, but just taking off the plastic on the head there. There's a bunch of foam all over this figure. This figure looks insane and like feels insane. It's heavy. Oh man, this is definitely going to be my War Machine in the collection. I don't know if I'll ever get another War Machine. I mean, I like the Iron Patriot, I guess, but like this look, like the big chunky black and silver armor, this is exactly how I picture War Machine. And you know, he looks fucking awesome. Let's see what else he comes with. Anything underneath? Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's the instructions. Always make sure you read your instructions. Some batteries, that's going to be a hassle. Comes with, it looks like a display base, that's pretty cool. The machine gun, the minigun. It comes with some armor plated panels. Oh yeah. Well, let's not waste any time for y'all. Let's pull all of the accessories that the Mark I War Machine comes with and lay all of them on the desk in front of me here and take a closer look at everything that Mr. Rhodey War Machine has to offer.
Alright everybody, we have Colonel James Rhodes, aka Rhodey, aka the War Machine from Iron Man 2 in his Mark I War Machine suit, which is my favorite look for him, honestly. Maybe Civil War, but I honestly am not the hugest fan on the Iron Patriot. But we're going to go through all his accessories here and take a closer look at everything. And let's start out over there on the left with the big old display base that it comes with. So you can see it also comes with some batteries over there. So we'll toss those batteries in the figure in a moment and see what that looks like all lit up. But the base comes with this big metal sturdy pole and a crotch grabber that you can screw in back there. I wish there was a little port that you could put in there to make sure that it doesn't move ever. But the actual display base itself, these are probably what, like Hammer drones, or, you know, the Whiplash's drones that is now shot to pieces. And yeah, it kind of looks like a hand there, maybe a bunch of bullet holes in this thing, a bunch of pieces and scrap laying around. These are maybe stones and some mud. Not a bad looking display base, and got a decent little footprint here for Rhodey to be able to stand on, maybe toss a foot up on this thing or over here, or, you know, give some type of dynamic pose to him. And I kind of like this, so I'm definitely going to be using this for the figure. And as you can see, the batteries over here, we'll toss those in the figure in a moment, but he comes with some hands, and these hands are fully, you know, articulated hands where you can move each of the fingers and each of the joints. So this one kind of looks like, you know, a more relaxed hand pose. And unlike the Iron Man, it doesn't come with the wrist armor attached to the hand because it's attached to like his gauntlets, and we'll look at that more in a second as well. But just to show off that you can put it in, you know, like a grabbing or a relaxed pose or a funny pose. And I gave him like a little peace sign. But then he's got some flat or propulsor hands, you know, for flying or shooting. And these are not articulated, and these are more just like, you know, splayed out hands. And then he comes with this gesture, which is more like a salute that you can make him do, as well as two fist hands that come on the figure already. I believe these 4 pieces are left and right leg armors that need to go on the figure that don't come already on the figure for some reason, but it is what it is. I believe those just magnet on the figure. And then you have some battle damage pieces, but not like, you know, those are both on the back, but like not even, like one left, no right, one right shoulder, no left. The center chest piece is super battle damage, which is cool, but, you know, just kind of cool that it comes with some battle damage pieces, but, you know, weird the pieces that they chose to be battle damaged. Also, a battle damaged mask that kind of plops down like that, and you can pop off the battle damaged mask to get a look at that absolutely exquisite Rhodey head sculpt. Now, this might be one of the best looking head sculpts I've ever seen, you know, like, how do I not use this Don Cheadle head sculpt on the figure? You know, I might end up doing something more like this with like the battle damage mask like propped up, you know, but for some reason it wants to sit like that, which doesn't feel very movie accurate. It should probably sit more like that, but for some reason it wants to magnet forward. So I don't know, maybe I can make it work like somehow. I don't know. I would want to leave it open. I wouldn't want to have it just off, but it magnets too far forward. So what's the deal with that? Maybe this face mask is better for that. No, same type of ideal, but there you go. You can see what he looks like with the clean faceplate on. The non-light up version. Yeah, not a bad looking Iron Man mask. I do like that it has like that extra lip on the front, and that opens up to be able to free this open. But I don't know, that should sit on top a little better, I think. You know, doesn't entice you to want to be able to do that. You know, that's dumb. It should be like here, you know what I mean? Stupid. But it is what it is. But you can see the chest armor there with the 001 and like just the bullet damage and just the all types of battle damage on this thing. And like you can see a little bit more like the inner workings with the metal there. And, you know, there's like this little spring piece on here that springs, so that's flexible in posing, so it's not too rigid a piece. That's a nice touch. But yeah, we'll definitely look at what all these battle damage pieces look like on the figure in a moment. But our boy comes with a big old Gatling gun and a, you know, a piece of ammo that I think slides in either there or there, and, you know, can go on either side of his shoulder, so you can pick. And I believe this just slots into a little piece on his back. And we'll take a closer look at how this works in a second when we toss him on the figure. But this is like the full gun. And then this part just kind of pops out like so. And you can put in a smaller Gatling gun that looks like it just got like sliced off or something. I don't love the way that looks. I wish it was just a little bit longer. But I'm probably not going to use this one. I'm probably just going to use the full gun because that looks much more badass.
And of course, he also comes with the ex-wife. And if you know, you know. You gotta bust your bunker with the ex-wife. Hammer tech? Yeah, hammer tech. And you can see that this is red behind there, so that when his eyes light up, they kind of have a red glow rather than a white glow, which is, I believe, movie accurate. But let me toss all of the batteries in this figure, and then we'll take a closer look at this figure all lit up and see what he's looking like in his full, you know, glory. All right, so I have the battle damage on the War Machine here. And I also have his ex-wife missile slotted in there. But the face sculpt with the battle damage on, it doesn't look like there's lights on, but it does have a faint red light underneath it. Even when it's off, I think it like still has that reddish glow. And I believe you could pop here. But, you know, if you cut that off and then still put the faceplate back on, it still kind of has a reddish tinge to it, where this does not. You know what I mean? Like, it just looks dead on the inside. So I want to rep the Don Cheadle head sculpt, but I want to also see the red eyes. So I think I might end up repping the battle damage with the normal head sculpt and not have a use for this Don Cheadle head sculpt, which is a shame, but, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, just flip those back on. Ooh, yeah, so it's faint, but it does work. It does get the job done there. And the normal Iron Man mask, the chin plate there doesn't go down, but on the Rhodey head sculpt, the chin part comes down, so you can, I guess, see the face more in there. But just to look at this figure up close and personal, you know, you can see the light on in the gauntlet there. The light switch is right here behind the gauntlet, and those batteries were really tiny. And as you can see, my finger is very big and I have chunky hands and they don't call me Big Cam for nothing, you know. So the batteries was a pain in the ass to get in here. There's a screw underneath this little flap there. There's a full-on battery switch out armored piece, swap out armored pieces on the back there as well. But on this side, I just left this screwed piece off because I wanted to show that, like, why is my left gauntlet not lit up in these videos? I tried, but a battery got stuck in the bottom of the thing, in like the port, underneath the spring, unable to get it out of there. So I guess be cautious and don't get a battery stuck in there, or you might be like me and end up not being able to use your light up features. But I do like that, you know, you can leave that off if you wanted. There's the switch, and then you can just cover it up. You know, like, that's a nice easy arm one, where like the Iron Man ones, you have to take off a piece of armor to get to it, and it's a pain in the ass. Like, this is real quick. If I wanted it on, bam, boop, and then right back, you know. And this gun does pop off if you wanted to, 2 ports on the bottom. I thought I broke it for a second when mine came off, but no, I think it's meant to do that. No real battle damage down below, but you can see like there's weathering marks, so it kind of looks a little worn anyways at the beginning, but you could see the old chest piece is nice and perfect, and now the new one has bullet hole damage. I mean, you can start to see the arc reactor. You can see that light in the chest is causing a lens flare, you know, so super bright chest reactor light for this one. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to use this hand, but at least this one works, kinda, sorta, you know. Yeah, you can see it there, it's working. But other battle damage pieces, this over-the-shoulder port, which is strange, just like on the cover of that, on this side, nice little scratch, some face damage. This piece on this side as well, the shoulder piece, the 001, has a scratch across it, and then this piece on the inside of the gauntlet has a scratch on it as well. So some decent amount of battle damage. Oh, and the minigun is sliced in half. Now, when I go to pose this figure on the shelf, I think I'm going to rep battle damaged, but except I'm going to put the full minigun, because this just doesn't, you know, like, I get the scene it's trying to do, but the full minigun just looks so much more badass. But let's toss this Rhodey figure into some poses and see what War Machine is capable of.
Alright everyone, Mark 1 War Machine spinning around on the turntable for us in his first pose with the chest reactor, oh so bright, just standing straight up and down just as he would come right out of the box. And then I have him with both flight hands and kind of, shooting propulsor hands in like he's about to take flight with the minigun tucked behind him. I do really like, putting the minigun in specific places, and it really brings the pose to life and, makes him respectful, makes him intimidating, like I love the Gatling gun over the shoulder. It's so badass looking. And then I have him in a saluting pose, but with the gun tucked behind his back, and he's got that special saluting hand on his right hand, and he is saluting like he's a good military man, like Colonel James Rhodes is. And then I have him firing all of his weapons with the shoulder cannons out and the ex-wife missile on the other side, the minigun, both propulsor hands forward, shooting off, ready to fire straight ahead. And then I have the Don Cheadle head sculpt, which not full head sculpt, but the helmeted head sculpt of Don Cheadle, which does look really good. But I don't know if it looks better than the way that the War Machine looks with the red light behind the lens. It just looks really good. But Don Cheadle is flipping us off while Tony is eating a donut and flipping us off right behind him. And then in War Machine's final pose, and probably how I will have him on display in my collection for some time at least, with the battle damaged parts all over him. And I think the battle damage just looks awesome on the chest, on the shoulders, a little bit on the gauntlet, some on the back. But all of the battle damage parts except for the sliced minigun, because I just love how the big old minigun looks like. And he's standing on that display base. And, I've really dug this War Machine 1.0. And I think this is actually a 2.0 figure because it feels really good. The lights work really well. Like the button cell batteries work better for this one than they did for, say, like the Iron Man Mark IV video that will be out tomorrow, and we do a little bit of side-by-side comparisons with those in this video and in that posing section there. But rather than doing a bit of a comparison section and tossing them next to each other right here, why don't we toss Rhodey on the shelf and see what everyone's looking like in their new home? Oh, wow. I didn't think that was gonna fit, just barely, and it looks awesome. Oh, God, you can just, start admiring over here. You're like, wow, that gantry looks sick. Wow. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, dude, the War Machine's got all this battle damage right here. Whoa, is that the Mark 6? Is he flipping me off? No, can't be. And then slide back over here. Whoa, is that a full minigun? Is that a side gauntlet gun aiming at me? Is that a propulsor and another gun aiming at me? I did turn off all the lights, but the only one I still have on is the chest reactor. And as soon as I cut off this video, I will cut that off, because if you guys know me, I don't leave my figures lit up, even if they do have light up effects. It just is not worth it to me, especially because the button cell batteries do not last very long. I mean, if I had any figures that had the actual plug-in light up effects, I might do that. But even so, I don't necessarily have any way to actually plug them in this room and have good cable management and stuff like that without cords just running everywhere. So, I'd need Hot Toys to come up with some type of better lighting than just the button cell batteries, because I would really love to leave the lights on this figure, but I don't want to have those batteries die and then never be able to light it up again, or have to replace the batteries. And I've never seen those batteries for sale anywhere, so real pain in the ass, those batteries, but it is what it is. All of these die-cast figures have that problem, and the stupid batteries with most of these Hot Toys figures is going to be a problem no matter what, but it is what it is, But as far as War Machine, I really love the way his look. That base, it doesn't remind me so much of the movie, but it does enough of a job, And I do actually have his crotch grabber in there as well. It's just sturdying him a little bit. I don't think he necessarily needed it, but, helping regardless. But that's another Hot Toys figure review from me. Thank you guys so much. And if you guys want to see tomorrow's 1/6 scale Iron Man Mark IV unboxing video with the suit up gantry, stay tuned for that. That's a very exciting video and very cool figure, and lots of accessories and lots of cool, you know, display basing. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully this helps you get off some poses, or, you know, unboxing the figure in any way, or maybe you just entertainment and you enjoyed this. I really hope so. And if you guys want to chat more about Hot Toys or movies or anything like that, you can follow me on my other social medias. Links for those down in the description below. And if you've made it this far into the video and you would like to support the channel, the best way of doing that is liking this video, commenting down in the comment section below, subscribing if you haven't already, and hitting that bell so you don't miss next week's Hot Toys figure unboxings, and you get the notifications when those come out. Once again, I'm Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for sticking around this far into the video, and I will see you beautiful people in the next video. Peace.